Welcome miniature fans, today we are carrying on with our Dungeon Saga Origins collection and we are working on our bosses. Now today's boss is from the evil side. This is the Butcher, the Fleshripper. So today I'm going to concentrate on skin tones. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, I've already added some nice sand to the base. Let me get some focus for you so you can actually see the miniature. That would be good, Mikey. 1 second there. And some focus. There we go. This is an absolutely beautiful looking sculpt, as you can see. But and I've added some sand to the base. This is for my dungeon floor. And what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how I do some wet blending with some very dark tones. So we got some nice Eldritch purple. We got some Succubus Kiss. We have some Witchcraft purple, and we're going to add some white to that. So I'm going to show you how I wet blend the skin tone today. I'm going to undercoat the miniature completely in white, and then I'll come back and show you that skin tone, and then I'll finish off the miniature and give you a 360. But it's really just to show you how to do the dark purple going into a lighter purple just by wet blending your paints together on this miniature today. So I'll come back as soon as I have given this a nice undercoat. Okay, so I've got my undercoat on of white, and I've got some Gothic Crimson and some white on my palette here. So we're going to start wet blending. Now, wet blending is a form of painting where, like the name says, you're painting your paint while it's still wet. So the idea is I'm adding my Gothic Crimson on here onto the arm, say, and while the Gothic Crimson is still wet, I'll be adding lighter colours to that Gothic Crimson and bring it slowly down the arm until it's highlighted, so it's nice and light at the beginning. And you do this while it's wet so it blends in, so each colour you add, each tone going down the arm will blend in, so it looks like a nice contrast going all the way down. So we're going to try that now, and I'll show you how I do it. So I start off with my darkest colour, Crimson, and I'm not worried about going over any of the model. I'm not worried about making any mess because this is all for the skin, and afterwards I can always go back over the other parts of the miniature, so it's not an issue if you go over any of the hoods or the swords or the face. It doesn't matter because we're just trying to get that initial dark to light on our miniature. So there we are, that's the first stage, going under the arm, and of course it's quite a fast paint because you're trying to do it while it's still wet, and of course in the summertime that can be quite difficult. So what I'm doing now is I'm adding some white to this, and then we're going to start pulling that down using the actual initial colour. So we're pulling the Gothic red down into the white, and that slowly goes down the arm like so, and that'll blend in the two colours. Now all I do is I add a little bit more white, and again we carry on down, just pulling the colours down so it gets slowly lighter and lighter from the highest source. Again back into the white and pulling it down through the initial crimson red. And all we do is I keep on adding more and more white to that little piece of crimson red here on my palette, and again we're pulling it down over the arm. More white. You want to kind of end up so the actual end of the arm is almost all white with a little bit of pink. And again back into the white, and we go on to the fingers, and we just see a hint of the white and the pink together. And as you can see, we've gone from dark crimson, and it's gone lighter and lighter and lighter all the way. And of course you can do as much, you can make it as strong or as light as you want to. I'm just giving you a quick example of how I add the actual colours, and that's fantastic. Now I'll do this again so you can see. We'll do it on the other arm. Again, we'll just add in the darkest colour first, and as you, I'm also using the same brush. I'm using the same brush, and I'm not washing the brush either. So what's happening is I'm just using the same brush and just adding white to the paint, just a little bit of white, like so. Adding that little bit of white, and then for the first, we start pulling down the paint from the top, always going downwards. Now into the white, back into the crimson, and again pulling that white into the red and pulling it down towards the wrist of the beastie. Again back into the white, just adding the white, so it's getting lighter and lighter as we get up to the forearms. Last but not least, keeping it going with the white, adding the white, pulling it down, so you're getting lighter and lighter towards the end of the arms. There we are. And last one, just on the fingers, just like so. So we've got the lovely tones there going along. Okay, let's do that tummy, shall we? Now with the tummy, we want the highest, lightest part to be in the middle. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just go around the edge of the tummy there, and at the bottom with the darkest of the highlight. So all the way around, keeping it nice and wet. And then again, like we did before, we're going to start pulling in the paint with a lighter colour going into the center of the tummy. I'm not worried about going over any of the other parts of the miniature. We'll be going over them later. Back into the white and pulling it into the middle, making it lighter and lighter. Nice and simple. And then for the final one, we just want the white and a tiny bit, and we just pull that into the middle, and we got our lightest highlight in the middle there. I'm going directly into the white now, and we just add in a little bit more white just there to highlight the tops of the tummy. So what we got there, we got the darkest around the stomach, and it gets lighter and lighter going towards the middle. So that's as simple as it gets for doing wet blending. What I'm going to do now is I'll finish off the miniature and I'll show you it finished. What I'll do on each show now, I'll show you separate parts of the miniatures I'm painting and how to do some simple little painting techniques on your miniatures.